Costco has some killer deals for you GLP-1 users right now. This is important because after coaching thousands of you, finding a sustainable way to eat better long-term has to be hands down the biggest challenge that I see, but I'm here to make it as easy as possible for you. Costco just launched this new protein water that's already sold out at freaking half of the warehouses, and trust me, I've been looking. If you're on Ozempic or any other GLP-1, this could completely change how you handle your medication, especially if you struggle with those thick protein shakes and you know how important it is to increase your protein intake. So I'm walking you through my exact shopping list, the things that we give to our patients, everything from that $5 rotisserie chicken hack to the October deals that end here in a couple weeks. Together, this haul will save you over $300 this month while actually helping your medication work better. Hi, I'm Dr. Jones DC, and after my own 100-pound weight loss journey, I now coach thousands of patients on GLP-1 meds every single day. And listen, I used to think that it was all about the dose that you're taking, and that was such a big deal. But what I've learned by coaching thousands with my medical practitioners, the dose is really a result of how you eat on these medications. That's really ultimately what matters, among other lifestyle interventions. Now, I plan to show you not only some of the items that I personally buy for myself every week, but what I'm showing to my patients are the key strategies, foundational items. Some of these might surprise you, like why I'm about to grab 2 whole chickens, or even that pomegranate juice. That's actually a test to see where you're at, metabolically speaking. Real quick, now even with the Eli Direct or Novo Direct pricing, these medications can still cost around $500 a month. Big investment. Every single dollar that you save on the right foods matters tremendously, especially if those foods help you stay at lower doses. Now remember, everything that I'm sharing is based off of what we observe in our practice, working with real patients just like you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Item number 1, rotisserie chicken, $4.99. This is where we start our shopping journey today. The undefeated champion. Everybody grabs these, but here's what they're doing wrong. They're eating it for 2 meals, maybe, and tossing the rest. Let me do some math with you here. I like to pick the heaviest one. The bigger chickens will give you about 1.5 to 2 pounds of actual meat. That's roughly about 100 to 130 grams of protein total. I tell patients to divide them into 3, maybe 4 different containers. That's about 25 to 40 grams of protein per meal for less than $2. Where else are you gonna get that kind of savings? Okay, so let me address the elephant in the room, or maybe the chicken in the air. The controversy about these chickens, not just from Costco, but any grocery store. Whether it's the sodium, the seasoning, the chemical exposure, or maybe even the microplastics. Yeah, I really wish they didn't leave them in freaking plastic containers all throughout the day. I'm not ignoring these things or saying they're not a problem, but as we continue to understand our knowledge about these, there will be improvements in best practices, I can almost guarantee that. But you have to be sensible about this. Most people can tolerate eating these without having detrimental impacts into their health. And the reality is we need high quality animal-based protein in order to be successful. And so sometimes we have to make a choice. What battle are we trying to fight right now? And the quality, this is real protein that's going to preserve your muscle mass. I tell patients, look, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. I would rather you eating this than some other protein bars that have 15 grams of loaded sugar. Actually, that reminds me, I had this patient, Mike, a construction worker. He was living on these supposed healthy protein bars at various job sites. We switched him over to shredded rotisserie chicken that he packed in his containers. He lost 62 pounds on just 0.5 milligram of semaglutide. So here's a solid Sunday routine that you can adopt right now. Buy 2 chickens, not 1. Shred 1 immediately for the week and keep the other whole for dinners. Mix that shredded chicken with some Greek yogurt that I'll show you later in the dairy section. Instant chicken salad that won't trigger nausea. If you realize that having help and support on your GLP-1 journey is something that you're missing, I'll leave a link in the description where you can book your free discovery call. Take a minute, speak to my experts, see what it is that we do so successfully with our patients and if it makes sense for you. Okay, so this is not one of the Costco deals, but this is one of my favorite things personally, and I'm a big fan and advocate for a heavy animal-based diet. Whether you do carnivore or whether you're just doing a low-carb diet, we have to have high-quality animal-based proteins. Now, a lot of videos and a lot of influencers talk about grass-fed, grass-finished. Those are great products, and yes, they do have more key micronutrients. But at the beginning of your weight loss journey, you need to reduce insulin levels, and in order to do that, we have to increase our fat intake as we cut the carbs. And the best way to do that are delicious steaks. And so consider these steaks like a give me when you're doing really good on your diet. You can take a small portion of this and freeze the rest. Let me show you how to pick better quality ribeyes. So you can see in this ribeye right here, doesn't have much marbling. Marbling would be the little fat streaks that you would see throughout. You're gonna see some, and don't get me wrong, this steak here would still taste delicious. These are gonna be your choice cuts, but if you look at this one right here, see how there's almost 2 to 3 times the amount of fatty streaks that go throughout this meat. Same exact price, but this one will taste so much better And again, I want to repeat this, does not have to be grass-fed or grass-finished. When you're starting your journey, you want as much fat as you possibly can, and these are gonna taste a lot better. So enjoy that tip. Now let's go on to the ground beef. This is where you look at the price per pound breakdown and you see that it's only about 70 cents more per pound to go with the organic. So absolutely go with the organic. And the other thing I like about this right here is only 12% lean. So we're talking 88-12, and I want you guys to load up on as much fat as you possibly can. So I'm always gonna opt for the 85-15 or even the 80-20 when it's around. So basically you're paying the same price for this bad boy right here, but you're gonna get more fat and you're gonna get organic, which is going to be better for that small little price break. So here's my hack. I buy stock up big time, 10, 15 pounds of ground beef. I cook it all on Sunday, whenever I have time. Season it up, taco spice, Italian herbs, playing with salt, portion into half-pound containers, freeze half, refrigerate half. Then Tuesday when the nausea hits and nothing sounds good, you heat it up 3 to 6 ounces. It's already cooked, ready to go, and at your disposal. And that's the key to success, is having pre-portioned things that you can lean on when life gets crazy and you're in a pinch. Keeps you from those expensive fast food runs that end up costing you a fortune. And let's be real, we're not getting good quality food there. Sparkling protein water. Yes, you heard me right. This is brand new Costco exclusive for 90 days. I'm grabbing 3 cases of these bad boys because, like I said earlier, these are so freaking hard to find. 30 grams of protein in a clear sparkling drink. Listen, I used to think the protein shakes had to come in a form of what we all know, chalky, thick shakes, and you could do whatever you can to blend stuff in it, but sometimes you're just gargling those things down and it's a pain in the butt, especially on your GLP-1. But in our practice with thousands of patients, when those thick shakes trigger nausea, clear liquids, they just go down so much easier. And this is literally like drinking a LaCroix, but it's got protein in it. And it's got a good quality protein too as well. At $28.99 for 15 cans, that's less than $2 per can. Fairlife shakes are $2.50. And remember that whole phthalate controversy that we talked about in our last video. Premier Protein, I save those for desserts. They're chock full of a bunch of garbage. You can get them down occasionally, again, as a dessert. But these, you can lean on these because the ingredients are clean, especially compared to the other protein drinks. Total game changer. Now, I wasn't kidding when I said these are hard to find. So pro tip for when you're looking for these bad boys, check 3 places: the water aisle, then the supplement place, then the end caps. Every Costco seems to have their own little preferences to where they put them. If you do happen to see them, grab at least 2 cases. Trust me on this one. If you're realizing that these are shopping strategies specifically for GLP-1 users that you didn't know about, then hit that subscribe button now, because I test out new items every single week and I like to drop multiple videos for you, not just on shopping, but more importantly, how to optimize your GLP-1 weight loss journey, because my goal for you is lasting weight loss. Now let's head to some delicious Mexican-style dinner items. Holy guacamole, number 5. This is such an insane deal right now. I always like to keep a few of these containers in my fridge. Right now, it's $9.99 with the October deals. Okay, so when it comes to half of our patients, they like to say things like, you know what, I haven't gone in a week. Like, constipation is a real issue. I don't know what to do. And I'm a little embarrassed to talk about it, doc. So the reality is, with fiber being such an important nutrient to get in, guacamole is an insanely easy way for you to do that. And it tastes really good too as well. You can easily do a pack of these with your dinner, whether it's Mexican night with ground beef or just eating these straight on their own. These taste great. They're quick in a pinch, and the price is phenomenal. And these ingredients are very clean too as well. 2% or less of vinegar, water, dehydrated onion, salt, and organic garlic. That's it. And of course, your avocados. You can't beat a clean ingredient list like that. I also love the fact that they're portioned out for you, so you don't have to worry about overdoing it, because avocado is a high calorie food. Okay, so since we're talking about Mexican night here, let's run over a real quick meal that you could do in a pinch. Beef-free tortillas, grain-free, gluten-free. This is massive, and these are also $3 off this month. $8.89 for 12 tortillas. That's a killer deal when you talk about high quality, good tasting, gluten-free tortillas. What's great about these is these won't spike your blood sugar. You'll stay full for longer, which is gonna make your medication work better. Think about the ground beef that I showed you earlier. These are so versatile. Our Taco Tuesday routine, ground beef from earlier, a tablespoon of that guac, one of these bad boy tortillas, under 10 carbs for the whole meal. Your insulin stays low, your fat burning continues all night. And these things will really become a staple to alternate and give you more variety in your GLP-1 journey. One cool thing that I actually like to do is I'll warm these directly over the burner flame at home for say 10 seconds per size. I try not to microwave them if I can. The char adds a little additional flavor too as well and makes them a lot more pliable. Total game changer, especially if you are trying to wrap some meat into it, which is my favorite thing to do with these bad boys, because I'm eating meat as often as I possibly can, and I recommend you do the same. So let's head over to the dairy section. Item number 7, Kirkland Greek yogurt. Now, this is a massive deal right now for about $7 for 48 ounces. This is my emergency protein that won't trigger nausea, 20 grams of protein, smooth texture. Listen, I used to think Greek yogurt was just a fad way back in the day for people who couldn't handle real meals. Then during my own weight loss struggles, there were days where this is literally the only protein that I could stomach. And for our patients on GLP-1s, having convenient options that are ready to go, that can be versatile and mixed with a lot of different things, and easy to get down, that's massive. I tell every patient, look, always have this in your fridge. If you wake up nauseous, eat it with a side of eggs. Sounds terrible, but this actually slides down easy. I'll mix in frozen berries that I thaw the night before. Breakfast completely sorted out. Seasoned sardine on sale for $9, 6 tins. Okay, look, I get it, but hear me out. Patients who increase their intake of omega-3 fatty acids on GLP-1s often report that their hair feels healthy. Hair loss, that really doesn't happen too often, but when it does, increasing your omega fatty acids can be one strategy alongside increased intake of zinc, and biotin can help slow that down too as well. I like to mash these in with hot sauce, guacamole from earlier, spread them on some as low-carb bread or tortillas, like the ones that I showed you earlier, if you can tolerate carbohydrates. One of our patients, Sarah, calls them divorce fish because her husband hates the smell, but she swears by them because it makes her overall health better. And it's just a convenient way to get protein down. Pomegranate juice. It's on sale right now for a little over $6. Now, I know 34 grams of sugar per serving. Why am I showing you this? Well, number one, it's loaded with antioxidants and key micronutrients, but it's still sugar. This is what I call, for you insulin-resistant folks out there, future foods. In our clinic, we observe patients who complete 3 to 6 months of metabolic healing can often reintroduce high sugar foods without the same blood sugar spikes that they were getting before. And more importantly, the sugar spike that you still get when you're insulin sensitive, it doesn't last as long. Your body can handle it. That's what's called being insulin sensitive. This isn't about medication dosing. So your doctor's gonna determine that based on your labs and how you respond. But here's what's interesting. Some patients need therapeutic doses because of severe insulin resistance. Others, they respond amazingly to lower doses. Your healthcare practitioner is gonna figure all this out based on your specific situation, not how you react to the juice. What's really cool about this is when you are insulin sensitive 3 to 6 months later, you're gonna have days where you can have carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates, things like fruit juices, high glycemic fruits, even some pastas and some rices can be tolerated because you become insulin sensitive, but you also perform resistance training. And there's really cool science on what happens when you eat carbohydrates after some heavy lifting. Your body actually tolerates those carbohydrates because your muscles act like sponges to soak up all the glucose. Now, let me show you something really cool that isn't a food that's on special today. I couldn't find this in the store right now, but I'll put a picture on the screen so you guys can follow along. Okay, this next one isn't food, but it's literally the best investment you can make. Number 10, our FoodSaver vacuum sealer. It is $40 off this month, making it only $89. I was bummed out that I couldn't find one at this Costco, but they do have this part of Octoberr sales. Remember those steaks and ground beef that I showed you earlier? On your Sunday routine, buy them in bulk, especially when they're on sale. Take advantage of that because with this machine, you can portion out what you need for now and vacuum seal the rest and pop it into your freezer. And no freezer burn. Perfect portions, saves literally hundreds per month. And the flavor is so much better because you pulled out that meat from your freezer and it's got that freezer burn and you're always like, oh, do I eat this? Do I not? And everybody kind of has their own decision. But the hidden benefit that nobody talks about, the meal prep and how good you feel. Some days when you're on GLP-1s, you have the energy and the appetite, cook it up, double time, vacuum seal it up. Bad days, have those ready to heat meals and you don't have to spend any time preparing because you don't feel great. This thing will pay for itself in just a couple of months instead of ordering $20 DoorDash because you're too nauseous to cook. And instead, you heat up your own sealed meals. Okay, let's cover some quick emergency options before we check out. Starbucks iced coffee, 2 48-ounce bottles for $6.49. Check the ingredients, just coffee and water. No sweeteners, no junk. Black coffee is a natural appetite suppressant, and I have my patients utilize and take advantage of this in their longer extended fasting windows. Patients in our practice often say things like, morning black coffee helps me feel satisfied for much longer. Now, this doesn't mean you have to skip your doses. Always follow your prescribed schedule, but coffee might help you feel more comfortable in between meals. Let's do some math here. 96 ounces of coffee for $6.50. A venti at Starbucks is $4.50 for 24 ounces. You're getting 4 times the coffee for the exact same price. Add in a splash of heavy whipping cream and some stevia or monk fruit, still under 50 calories. Now, again, super important aspect about coffee is to aid you in your long fasting windows. One of the strategic things that we do with our patients, you're not gonna take more GLP-1 during the one long fasting day, so sipping on some coffee throughout the earlier part of the day can really help mitigate some of that hunger. All right, let's show you guys our last item. Finally, Kirkland's Signature Cauliflower Crust Pizza.
A 2-pack for $11.99, and it's gluten-free. That's a big deal.
Yes, it's processed, but listen, I keep these for emergency situations. Convenience equals sustainability. And when you're exhausted, nauseous, and the family wants pizza night, this saves you a ton as well. A quarter of the pizza is only about 200 calories with a decent amount of protein. It's not perfect, but it's way better than regular pizza that'll spike your insulin for hours and very, very much take you over your caloric load when you're trying to lose weight. My emergency protocol is keep some in the freezer, 10 minutes in the oven, add some of that rotisserie chicken on top that we showed you earlier for some extra protein. And now you're participating in a family dinner without derailing your progress. The key that I'm gonna stress over and over and over is planning. Planning for imperfection. You will have days where cooking feels impossible. This is your backup plan that doesn't require increasing your medication dose because you went off track. All right, so October sale items alone save you $67 versus regular prices. But the real savings, meal prepping with these items versus eating out. That's a $300 to $400 monthly savings. More important, eating with food that works with your medication instead of against it. And in our practice, we see patients staying on lower doses, and the difference between maybe 0.5 of your semaglutide and 2.4, about $200 of monthly clean eating, even without the direct pricing. Remember, some of these deals will end by the end of this month, so make sure you get a move on now and purchase these items and stock up accordingly. Here's what I want you to understand by making it this far into the video. This isn't just about saving money, it's about using your GLP-1 as a tool and not a crutch. These foods help you fix underlying insulin resistance, not just suppress your appetite. And if you're serious about maximizing your GLP-1 results while minimizing side effects, click that link below. My team will work with you to establish, hey, what have you been doing? How much results have you got? And more important, what's the problem right now? Because you're obviously stalled and you don't have a solution. And they're gonna give you an idea of what it's like to work with me and my coaches, the capacity, the prices. They'll go over all of that, put together a recommendation for you. And if it's something you wanna do, then I look forward to working with you personally to help you achieve better levels of health that start with lasting weight loss, but so much more. And if you guys wanna get a better understanding of the 10 most common mistakes that I see our patients make, check out this video right here, and we'll see you guys later.